Hello everyone, intuitive and astrologer Lisa Salvatore here to talk to you about the lunar eclipse taking place in the sign of Virgo on March 13th, 14th, depending upon where you are in the world. Before we get into it, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe if you appreciate this content and find it helpful. Drop a like, leave a comment. It's all very much appreciated and helps to grow my channel. In this video, we are going to go over the lunar eclipse, the energy of this lunar eclipse. And please note that just because this eclipse takes place on the 13th, 14th of March, the energy of this eclipse is not only on the 13th, 14th of March. The North Node moved into Pisces and the South Node moved into Virgo back in January. Linked below in the description box, I have done a very detailed reading on what all of this means. So you're definitely going to want to check that out as it begins a new story, a new cycle by where Virgo and Pisces fall in our own birth chart. Also linked in the description box below, you can see how to pull up your birth chart. There are also tutorials to help you to track these energies. As eclipses are accelerators of fate, they stir up destiny. You're going to want to know where this energy is taking place for you. And in this video, I will also go through each sign. If you are interested in even further, deeper insights, please consider becoming a member. And that video will be at the end of this video real quick with all of the details. But you can find that by subscribing to my Substack newsletter, which also includes a weekly forecast, a weekly live stream, and monthly live streams. That's all linked in the description box below. Let's get right into it. This lunar eclipse is a full moon. It takes place in the sign of Virgo on March 14th, 2:53 a.m. Eastern Time. So if you're Pacific time, it's going to be on the 13th. Obviously adjust this for your time zone. But here where I am on the East Coast, it is 2:53 a.m. Eastern Time. Now let's talk about the technicalities of the lunar eclipse first. For this particular lunar eclipse, all of the Western Hemisphere is going to have a nice view, providing that the skies are clear where you are. All of North America, so basically all of the lower 48 states here in the US are going to be treated to a nice view of this lunar eclipse. It will also be visible over South America and western parts of Europe and Africa. You can find out exact times of totality in your area by going to timeanddate.com and changing it to your time zone. This will tell you when you're going to have the best view. Eclipses come in pairs, so this lunar eclipse precedes a solar eclipse on March 29th, and I'll do a separate reading for that one. When we have a lunar eclipse, it is a full moon, it is always a full moon, and this particular lunar eclipse is close to the South Node. The South Node is currently in the sign of Virgo. Full moons in and of themselves are always about a culmination of energy, release, hyper-awareness, hypersensitivity. The fact that this is a lunar eclipse full moon just amplifies all of that energy. It really illuminates whatever else is going on, and eclipses are always tied to our destiny. Fate and free will dance hand in hand. This is a total lunar eclipse. This occurs when Earth sits directly between the sun and the moon, which causes the Earth's shadow to be cast on the moon. This is known as the umbra. This can only happen during a full moon. Important to note that not all lunar eclipses are total, but this one is. Lunar eclipses are referred to as blood moons because of the reddish hue that occurs when the eclipse is in its total stage. And the shades of red will always vary based upon the condition of the Earth's current atmosphere and other things. If we have more clouds and dust in the atmosphere, for example, it will look more red, etc. Important to note that this is the first total lunar eclipse that we have had since November 8th, 2022. And that was a full moon lunar eclipse, total lunar eclipse in the sign of Taurus. It's also equally important to reflect back, think back to 2016 if you can, because this is the last time that we had a lunar eclipse in Virgo. Think about how much has changed for you. Think about where you were back in 2016. What were the themes going on in your reality? It doesn't mean it's going to be exactly the same, but it will give you a hint. It could give you a hint of some of the energies that could be coming back up around, or the continuation of that part of your story, or a brand new chapter. Endings, for everyone, it's going to be different. So again, think back to 2016 when we had our last lunar eclipse in the sign of Virgo. Pay very close attention to whom and what is in your current reality right now, who is entering, who might be exiting, what is entering, what is exiting, opportunities coming in, doors closing, doors opening. That is the point of eclipse energy. It's to be in the energy. It's a time to hit the pause button and to reflect and to look forward toward the future with excitement. Eclipses are instigators of change. The reverberations of what goes on around eclipses or in eclipse season will typically be felt and seen unfolding over 6 months to come. Think of this total lunar eclipse, full moon, as a cord-cutting ceremony that you do not have to really do anything with. The universe is providing the cord cutting for you. There's a massive cleanse going on, mind, body, spirit. This eclipse is focused on letting go of unhealthy patterns, unhealthy relationships, unhealthy circumstances that are standing in the way of us moving into our own unique light. The moon is in the sign of Virgo. The sun sits in the opposite sign of Pisces. This is the axis of health and healing. It's our physical health, it's our mental health, it's our emotional health, and most important, it's our spiritual health. It is all connected. When one area is misaligned, all other areas follow suit. There's a strong emphasis on leaning more into the spiritual and letting go of those unhealthy behaviors, the negative self-talk and self-criticism, the need to always criticize others. This is about leaning into grace and compassion, both for self and for others. It's also about boundlessness and boundaries. Pisces offers us that boundlessness, where Virgo offers us the boundaries. We have to find the balance between the two, between the energies. Let's pull up the chart. This eclipse takes place March 14th, 2:54 a.m. Eastern Time. Again, set this for your own location to get the exact time. And if you want time of totality for this lunar eclipse, where you could have the best viewing, because you should be able to see it if it's clear where you are, go to timeanddate.com. We see the sun here at 23 degrees and 56 minutes of Pisces, and the moon is directly opposite at 23 degrees, 56 minutes of Virgo. This is how we have the full moon, when the sun and the moon are in exact opposition by a minute and degree. The south node is right here at 27 degrees of Virgo. Again, this is how we have a lunar eclipse close to the nodes of the moon. The south node is a release point. This is about letting go. This is a cleanse. This is a cord cutting. But it's a cord cutting with compassion. The north node's opposite here, 27 degrees of Pisces, aligned with Neptune and also the sun and Saturn. And this is significant because this is showing us that our dreams are anchored in reality. They have the potential to be grounded in reality. The astrology surrounding this eclipse is not particularly challenging. Yes, it's an eclipse. And yes, it's heightened energy. It's wild. But it's also exciting and electrifying, or has the potential to be. So yes, we have a lot of Pisces energy, but with Saturn here so close to the sun, it offers a sense of support, and it reminds us that we can have a plan, we can create a vision to move forward fearlessly, to let go of what is no longer serving us, and to love ourselves and others through that process. Sometimes things just are what they are. There will always be endings that precede new beginnings, and also endings that follow new beginnings, such as the cycle of life. The tarot card associated with this particular degree of Virgo is the 10 of Pentacles. This card reminds us of the bounty that is available to us. We can achieve our dreams. We can have what it is that we envision. We just have to believe. We have to work toward it. And we have to let go of whatever is standing in our way of achieving that goal, achieving that vision. This eclipse also falls in what we call the third decan of Virgo, which means it's the final third in the degrees of the sign of Virgo at 23 degrees, which gives it a Capricorn flair. And Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. And as mentioned, Saturn is right here, very close to the sun, and is a player in this eclipse, offering us that sense of grounding, but also the sense of dreaming. This eclipse is activating creativity to the max. Intuition is so heightened, so utilize it. Now, the moon is, of course, in opposition with Saturn here, so that could definitely bring in some feelings of nostalgia, melancholy, putting up blockages. We have to watch out for that. Remember, wherever we hold Virgo energy or wherever Virgo energy is pronounced, we always have the potential to be more critical than necessary, I should say. So be mindful of that. The ruler of Virgo is Mercury, and Mercury is in a very precarious position right now because Mercury is what we call stationary. Mercury will station retrograde on the 15th, early in the morning. So right at the heels of this eclipse, Mercury is churning. And this is significant because, again, Mercury rules Virgo. So don't expect to feel calm, especially if you're mutable, which is Pisces, Virgo, Sagittarius, or Gemini. You'll likely feel very jumpy. You could feel very excited. You can feel like you're buzzing. You could feel very anxious. It will manifest different for everyone. But one thing is certain, the energy is heightened. So you may find it a little bit more challenging to focus. So step outside, ground, do whatever you need to do to go into your center, to go to your happy place. Going back to Mercury, Mercury is getting ready to station retrograde, which could just make communication a little bit more messy at this time, or a little bit more ungrounded or unclear. And Mercury is really close to Venus right now. Venus is also retrograde, so this could bring up something around relationships, a specific relationship in your life. But this could be positive, as it could bring in heartfelt conversations or movement forward where things have been stagnant. You could find out some very significant information that helps you to move forward, mind, body, spirit. The momentum is here for change. The energy is ripe for change. Important to remind ourselves that what we resist persists. So it's really important to pay attention to what is going on right now, what is coming up. It's not the time to check out and act like things are not happening, but it might also not be the time to act just yet. Allow the eclipse to reveal what needs to be revealed for you and allow the energy to settle. Unless it's moving, you don't need to move it. Important reminder. This is great energy for a cleanse. Decluttering your life, mind, body, spirit. Clean your cupboards, clean your closets, clean your desk, clean your body, purify. As Mercury is stationing retrograde, Mercury is the ruler of Virgo. Virgo rules over our digestive system, our stomach. It's a full moon. So if you are experiencing stomach disturbances, tune into your body. What is it trying to tell you? Perhaps dairy is no good for you and you've been avoiding that. Gluten, whatever. It's time to clean it up. As Mercury is the ruler of the central nervous system and Mercury is the ruler of this eclipse, we may all be feeling much more jazzed up. This can absolutely produce feelings of heightened anxiety, but also heightened excitement. So take care. Virgo's an earth sign, so get out into the earth. Breathe in the fresh air, spend time with those that lift you up. It will all bode very well around these energies. Uranus has now moved to 24 degrees of Taurus as of March 13th and will remain at the 24th degree of Taurus until April 6th, I believe. So if you have anything around 24 degrees of Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, or Aquarius, you are going to be getting a Uranus transit, which means change. And this could be change in the best way possible. So definitely check your chart. But Uranus here now at 24 degrees is in an almost exact trine to this lunar eclipse, to the full moon, which is supportive, which encourages change and movement forward. It's also a reminder of the energy of supportive chaos, because that is what Uranus can provide. That jolt to the system that we don't see coming, that seems disruptive at first, but once the dust settles, we are where we need to be. Now, I also feel around this time, especially the 13th through the 18th, the weather across the United States is going to be very wonky. Lots of wind, lots of rain, lots of uncharacteristic weather of the season, especially on the East Coast. So pay closer attention to the weather, get the weather alerts on your phone turned on, because there will be unexpected weather developments. 13th through the 18th. And if you're in the Colorado area, that came through to me psychically about the weather. So just pay closer attention to the weather reports, just so you're aware. We have Pluto over here at 3 degrees of Aquarius in a loose, very loose aspect with Venus and Mercury, but I'm going to count it because it is supportive. So this is about transforming through our relationships, transformative communication, with the potential and power to heal or to help us to cut those cords that are unnecessarily binding us or keeping us stuck karmically. Another strong indicator of transformative change and transition around this eclipse. Taking our power back, regaining control in one or more areas of our lives, but also releasing the desire to control the outcome, releasing the attachment to the outcome. This is all very powerful right now. And we also have Jupiter here at 13 degrees of Gemini in a loose sextile to both Mercury and Venus. This is also supportive. We now have Mars cruising ahead at now 18 degrees of Cancer. Mars is direct and moving forward. Still cranking it up on the emotional heat, on the emotional scale, on the sensitivity. And as Mars moves ahead, Mars is moving into a square with Chiron and Aries. This can have us feeling more reactive on the whole, as the collective, more reactive to policies, more reactive to things having to do with family, with how things might be changing that impact and affect our family dynamics, our family lives, family policies, etc. There's definitely this energy of unrest amongst the collective, and that will likely be increased and enhanced, especially around this eclipse, and even stronger as we move to the end of the month and go into the first few weeks of April. Pay attention to your surroundings. Watch the potential to get involved in unnecessary conflicts because, again, it's much more reactive out there. This full moon is also tightly aligned with fixed star Cor Caroli. Cor Caroli stands for the heart of a king. This star was actually named in the 17th century to honor King Charles after he was beheaded in 1649, I believe. This fixed star brings with it carries the energy of both Saturn and Venus, which is about commitment, and it's also about connection. And there's also something here about high honors or a fall from grace. And this has to do with leaders. There could be some great respect that's going to be shown or given to a specific individual, or there could be a big reveal and then a fall from grace or honors being revoked or news coming out that is less than stellar for the individual in power. Now, I have to tell you, I also feel that intuitively this has to do with the UK. We're likely going to hear some information coming out either about King Charles or Prince William and Princess Kate. So I guess we'll just see how that plays out. Before I get to the lunar eclipse through the signs, I just quickly want to pull up the United States of America birth chart, the Sibley chart. We are undergoing a tremendous spiritual evolution right now, no doubt about it. This is the birth chart that astrologers use for the United States, July 4th, 1776 at 5:10 p.m. in Philadelphia. Here is the lunar eclipse chart in conjunction with the United States of America's chart. The south node in the birth chart of the USA is at 6 degrees of Aquarius. Transiting Pluto is here at 3 degrees of Aquarius, approaching the south node. This is in the money houses of the United States, second house and the eighth house. It's our money, it's others' money. Aquarius is the sign of the future. Aquarius is the sign of digitization. It's a sign of technology. There has been a lot of conversation regarding cryptocurrency, even at the Oval Office, Bitcoin, etc. What is the future of our money? Whenever we're dealing with the alignment of Pluto and the South Node, we are talking about karma. We are talking about karmic cleansing. We are talking about connecting to the past and releasing what is not working. But it brings in the intense transformative power of Pluto. What goes away under Pluto, we know it doesn't come back. Something else is reborn, something else is regenerating. And in this case, it's the second house, which is our value, it's our money. There's a tendency to hold on to what's familiar, but it seems like lately, nothing is familiar. So where do we go from here? Major evolution going on. But that's the sign of Aquarius. Revolution, changing the game. Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, and Uranus is going to move into Gemini this year. Uranus was last in Gemini from 1941 to 1949. I go much more into that in my 2025 forecast, which is linked in the description box. But we are due for change. And Uranus brings in disruptive change, but like I mentioned earlier, it can also be supportive chaos, even if it takes time. And especially when it takes time because things have to settle. Positively speaking, this lunar eclipse is in the 9th house of foreign affairs. It's in an inconjunct to the moon here in the USA's chart, which can bring in miscommunications coming in from other parts of the world, adjustments that need to be made that are taking place both behind the scenes and up front. This also involves what's coming out through the media, through the news. The transiting south node is at 27 degrees of Virgo, really close to the midheaven of the United States. And that's in Libra. Justice, equality, balance, fairness. The south node's a point of release. There are a lot of things being released right now, some that people are finding fair, some that people are finding very unfair. But the energy is the energy. There's a strong energy of release, a strong energy of things no longer being the way that they were. This has been for quite some time, but it's becoming more and more pronounced, especially this year, 2025, which is a benchmark year, and even more so as we move into 2026, 2027, and 2028, and even beyond. And let us not forget that Neptune is soon going to move into Aries. It's going to dip into Aries for a few months, giving us a glimmer of changes that are going to come into the face of our country, the foundation. This South Node Pluto alignment is a powerful catalyst for growth and change no matter what, no doubt about it. There's a lot more I can say, but I'll just stop that here. The point of this was just really the Pluto South Node alignment and the spiritual evolution of not only the United States, the whole entire world, because whatever happens here or whatever happens in the UK, it all reverberates throughout the whole entire world. We are all one at the end of the day. And that's one of the stronger lessons of the North Node in Pisces, is that energy of, regardless of what happens, to come back and remember that we are all one, to ignite our compassion and our empathy for ourselves, of course, and for others. That South Node in Virgo is encouraging us all to release the need to have the answers right now because we will not have the answers. Also to release control of the outcome, both personally and collectively, to coexist as peacefully as we can, knowing that there is a higher power, a higher order, and leaning more into what you can control, which is what's in here, your mind, your body, your soul. Now let's move into the signs. As always, I suggest you follow your rising sign for most accuracy, and then you can follow your sun sign and even your moon sign if you'd like. If you don't know your rising sign, pull up your birth chart. You can do so fast and free right on my website, linked in the description box below, and note your rising sign or your ascendant, ASC. It's the same term. Aries rising, this lunar eclipse will illuminate the areas of your life that are very much devoted and dedicated to your daily practices, your daily routines, your daily habits. This eclipse will likely bring something up for you that's going to give you a deeper insight, some deeper insights into where you can afford to declutter some parts, some areas of your life that are not contributing positively to the direction you really want to go. This is about curating your routines, your habits, even your relationships for more prosperous outcomes. You're likely going to feel very invested in your physical health and your spiritual health, with a stronger lean toward the spiritual, which I think will surprise you. Taurus rising, this eclipse could bring something up for you in regards to any children in your life. This also could have something to do with a creative project or endeavor. How are you spending your free time? How are you utilizing your creative life force energy? Are you utilizing it? This eclipse will have you deep in your feels, and those feels might involve another person in your life, specifically a family member, and even more specifically, potentially a child. For those that could be looking into expanding their family, you may receive some really powerful information at this time. Gemini rising, this eclipse is going to illuminate the areas of your life surrounding your family, your emotional worlds, family dynamics. What is going on inside? How is your heart space? You're going to be likely feeling very emotional around this eclipse as things are stirred up. You might be feeling very nervous. Be sure to give yourself some rest. Your nervous system will be very active under this full moon. On the positive side, you can get a lot accomplished, but make sure that you focus. One of the harder things for Gemini energy to do is focus on one thing at a time, but this eclipse will point out to you where you need to do precisely that. For Cancer rising, expect a lot of conversations to be abuzz around this eclipse. You may want to pull yourself right out of the dynamic, and I suggest you do that because you will be feeling much more emotional around this time. There could be some important communications coming into you from a family member or from somebody that you are connected to regularly, such as a colleague, perhaps a neighbor. Information is coming in one or more of those areas of your life, and you are being advised to just sort of sit back and let things settle before you move forward. Leo rising, this full moon is going to pull up a lot of feelings for you. You're going to be questioning where you are right now in your life. What is your purpose? How are you valuing yourself both in and out of relationships? Also, some financial situations could need some tending to, and it's going to become very evident to you what that entails under this full moon. This could be also very positive. Investments could feature strongly, or information regarding investments and your finances. Virgo rising, this lunar eclipse is going to feel very personal for you. It is lighting up your first house of self, your very essence, your personality, your whole being, your face, your body, your emotions, your spirit. You're going to be feeling a lot of different things, and you're going to be feeling very motivated to make changes, to make necessary changes. Allow yourself some quiet time. Be in the energy, be in the moment. Don't try to push forward. Don't try to control anything. Just be very aware, just be very present. Keep a journal handy, keep a dream journal handy, and take note of any insights, of all insights, I should say, that come through for you, come up for you around this time. Very powerful. Libra rising, you may feel quite exhausted around this eclipse, and you may just want to take a break, be away from people, be in soul solitude, and that's precisely where you should be. This is a time for strong reflection and contemplation on how far you have come over the last 2 years. This is a great time to deepen an existing spiritual practice or begin a new one. Also a new health routine. That's where your energy will likely be focused. Scorpio rising, group dynamics are going to feature strongly for you around the time of this eclipse and the months that follow. You're likely going to have people wanting to collaborate with you, wanting to work with you in some capacity. If you're a content creator, there are going to be people that want to collaborate with you. If you're putting out any type of creative writing, that's also going to feature strongly around this time. Friendships could feel particularly charged up for better or worse. You could be releasing a friendship from your life, one that is no longer serving you, or at least that's where the energy is flowing at this time. Sagittarius rising, how are you feeling about your face out in the world? How are you feeling about your presence out in the world? Do you feel like you are giving back to society in some capacity? If you don't feel that way, this is what's going to be coming up around this eclipse. You're going to be thinking very deeply about what it is that you contribute to the collective, not just your work, not just your career if you have one, but it's more about how you're connected to what it is that you're doing. And you're going to be really reflecting upon what you want to do moving forward. For some of you, this can involve a complete and total job change, a new job, leaving your job, eventually. But it's being stirred up around this eclipse. Capricorn rising, you're going to be questioning your very beliefs. You could be questioning others' beliefs. You can find yourself embroiled in some heated conversations, so just watch out for that. There's definitely going to be an expansion of your mind, of your thinking processes. You could be looking at a situation from a completely different lens at this time. Just be mindful of the sources where you're receiving your information, because not is all as it seems. This is also a good time for you to take things off of your plates, such as subscriptions that you're not using. For example, if you're paying $30 a month for your subscription that you're not utilizing, this is the time to go through all of those subscriptions and unsubscribe. And in other words, also unsubscribing from any drama in your reality. That will feature strongly around this lunar eclipse and in the months to follow. Aquarius rising. This eclipse is going to have you very, very deep in your feels, in your emotions. You're going to be very much invested in the intimate parts of your life. This is going to feel very private and very personal for you. This could also focus on your finances. Whom and what are you investing in? And remember that our energy is also our currency. So this could be energetic for you, more of the energetic level. It could also all be connected. Whom you're sharing your resources with, how you're sharing them. Strong energy of that for you around this eclipse and in the months to follow. Pisces rising. This eclipse is going to shine a flashlight onto all of your relationships and relationship dynamics, relationships of all kinds. It's important to reflect upon how far you have come, staying detached from those situations that you detached from long ago and not feeling guilty about it. There's going to be a lot of self-reflection going on, a lot of reflection in general around this eclipse. And you could potentially be hearing from people from the past, but that doesn't mean that you have to re-engage in a dynamic that is not healthy for you. So pay very close attention to whom and what is in and out of your reality at this time. There you have it, lunar eclipse in Virgo. I hope that this was helpful. Take really good care of yourselves. March is a lot. This month is a lot. If you did not listen to my March forecast, please go ahead and click the link in the description box and take a listen to that. Also, my 2025 overview, I will link that in the description box below. I go into much more detail. And if you appreciate this content and would like to know more about where you can find me and get weekly deeper insights, take a listen to this quick message. Hello, everyone. Warm wishes for a happy and healthy 2025. I am so excited to be here with all of you, all of my beautiful subscribers, and to continue to put out supportive content. I will continue to give you astrological and intuitive updates. My channel will not be changing. I will be doing new moon and full moon readings, along with some insights through the signs, monthly astrological and energetic updates, astrology updates overall, and some more how-to videos, readings on current events, etc. None of that will change. That will all still be here on my channel, but I am excited to roll out a few new options for 2025. Here on YouTube, I now have a membership. That membership is $7.99 a month. You do not have to join the membership, but you can if you want to. And what that membership encompasses is obviously all of the general free content that is out there and will continue to be out there, but with more exclusive content. So every Sunday, I go live and I give the astrological and energetic forecast for the upcoming week. And we have some spiritual chit chat there. There's a live chat. Now that is going to be sent to you with the YouTube membership by recording. If you wanted to be a part of the live stream, I have another subscription, which is based on Substack, which is where I have my newsletter and where I am the most interactive. And that will also be linked in the description box below if you're interested in that. But the Substack membership is $10 a month, okay, to be transparent, or $100 per year. And every Sunday, I do go live and I give the astrological and energetic update and forecast. And it's, like I said, it's interactive and I answer questions. And then monthly, I do a live Zoom where I go into more details for each month, readings through the signs. And in those monthly lives, there's also the opportunity to be read, both astrologically and psychically, combination of the two. That is with my Substack subscription. That is with my newsletter subscription, to be clear. The YouTube subscription, the one that is $7.99 a month, you will get the recordings of everything that I do on my Substack newsletter. To join the YouTube subscription, all you have to do is go right to my homepage and just click join. And once again, thank you to all of my amazing subscribers. I'm so thankful and grateful to each and every one of you. I'm also grateful that I get to provide this content, and I really hope that it supports you on your spiritual journey.